Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do just a simple, some simple but very pretty cards, and I wanted to showcase the DSP. And we're going to use, sometimes when I need inspiration, which I've been needing this week, I'll look around at different projects and stuff, and I will also use a template from time to time. And so I was digging through the templates and I found this one from Operation Right Home, and we're going to make some cards using this template. Now the paper that I'm going to be using is going to be this beautiful paper here. I'm going to use some pieces from that, and this is in the mini catalog on page 25, and it's the Boughs of Holly Suite, but you can order the paper by itself. And then I'm also using a piece from this Painted Christmas 12 by 12, and I will have a link in the description box of the products that I used today for these cards. I'm also going to use some of our gold cardstock, and I'm going to use some early espresso. So what you're going to need for this, and I will try to leave this so that you guys can look at that. You can also go to the Operation Home front. I will find the link and put that in there too. There's a whole bunch of templates that you can go through to create cards. So I have, we're going to do 4 cards, and I have 4 pieces of basic white thick cardstock. I like the thick cardstock because I can put some layers on here, and I don't have to put any layers on the inside if I don't want to. And it is scored at 5.5 and cut at the 4 1/4, and then folded and creased. Then you're going to need, for this portion here, you're going to need colored cardstock. That is 4 by 1 1/4 inch. A piece of white cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 1 inch for this bottom portion, and for the upper portion you're going to need a piece of DSP that's 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, and then a piece of matching cardstock to the bottom that's 4 by 3 1/2. Okay. Then you're going to also need some strips. So I'm mainly using gold, and I'm going to use this early espresso for more natural. These are 1/4 inch strips. That's all they are, some 1/4 inch strips. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to get all of my my white pieces out, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment Christmas Wishes that comes from the Leaves of Holly stamp set. So I have these kind of sorted out here. So I'm going to take all my sentiment strips, and I'm just pulling for my cardstock. You'll notice the different colors. I'm just pulling some of the color that's used in each of these pieces. So this is Mossy Meadow. I've got Shaded Spruce, Crumb Cake, and this one is Soft Succulent. That's what that one is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp Christmas Wishes on each of these white pieces, and I'm going to do it somewhat in the color that they're going to be sitting on. I don't have Crumb Cake, so we aren't going to do that. So we're going to do the Evening Evergreen first, because I'm going to do 2 of them in the Evening Evergreen. Okay. Just get these stamped on here as straight as I can. There's one. Very simple cards, but they are very, very pretty, I think. that's it for the evening evergreen. Go ahead and clean that off. And then we're going to stamp one sentiment in the Mossy Meadow. And I'm kind of using the grid lines on my grid paper here to help me get this on straight. And then the last color I'm going to stamp in is the Shaded Spruce. And I'm kind of doing it this way because when I do my 1/4 inch strips, I'm going to need to let them dry a second so that I can cut them off, cut the excess off. Okay, now we have everything stamped. And that's all the stamping we're going to do for the cards. Well, we could stamp the inside. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get these on their pieces. So these go together and then these go together. So we're going to go ahead and glue these on. That one. And this is a great template, and there's many great templates that you could use if you have a lot of cards you want to send out or you're going to send out that you can make quickly. Okay, so now that we have those all attached, what we're going to do now is we're going to get our DSP pieces here. And we're going to, and these, and we're going to start attaching our strips. And I am following this exactly. So for these 3 pieces here, I'm going to do gold, and for this piece, I'm going to do the early espresso. So we'll start on that one first. So what we're going to do is just take one of our 1/4 inch strips here. Let's get some glue on the back of it. And I do kind of sort of measure a little bit to see if I need just a tad bit more glue. And then we're going to attach this so that this edge lines up with this edge. And we're just going to let a little bit of white peek on this side here. And if you lay it lightly, so lined up here, a little bit of white peek there, and then we're going to just set that aside and let that dry. I think I'm going to do these first because I can cut those strips and use them for the DSP. We're going to do the same thing on all of these with the gold strip. Put a little bit of glue on the back. Just like that, set that down, let that dry a minute. And you could use scraps. My early espresso, I actually pulled scraps out of my scrap bin and cut those down. Sometimes you're left with 1/4 inch strips when you're cutting cardstock and paper. The gold, our gold cardstock, I actually did not have any scraps of this, so I just cut my 1/4 inch strips off of a larger piece. I had a large scrap, but I just cut that off of there. Make sure that top edge is lined up. We have a little bit of that white showing. And I'm going to move the rest of these because we are not going to need them. Those out of my way. Now we're going to go ahead and cut these off. Flip it over in the back and just cut it flush with that edge. Alright, so those are done and ready for our cards. So now we just need to do our pieces here. So for this one here, I'm also going to do the Mossy Meadow. I want to see which way I want it to go. I mean the Evening Evergreen. I think I'm going to do that right here. So we're going to put, as this sketch shows, right here on the corner, but it's only on, this one was all the way from top to bottom, but this one is only on the DSP, so that's what we're going to do. Sometimes when you're doing sketches, it's not, for me anyway, I have to see it, I have to put it together and see it. So it's fun just to experiment and get one out and see how it would look, make one from the sketch. So we're going to let that one dry. I'm going to do the same thing for each of these, but we're going to do the gold piece. And it's just a little bit of the corner that's showing. Okay, let that one dry. Let's see. I think this one needs to go that way. And one more. And make sure when you're putting these on that you have your paper oriented in the right direction. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and cut these off. And we're just going to cut it flush with our DSP. Sometimes it's hard deciding what side to use because both sides are so pretty. That piece, that out of our way, and the final one. Okay, so now what's left is we need to attach our pieces to our cardstock. I needed to do a quick video tonight too because I am having my first workshop, in-person workshop, and I need to finish preparing for that. Alright. This one is going to be on that. Okay. Now you can also do this on colored cardstock and mat it differently. Mat it with white or very vanilla or some other color. And you can already see as you're matting these how pretty it already looks with just that little touch of gold right there in the corner and that beautiful paper. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and assemble our cards. Super quick. Of course I did the cutting and everything, but once you get the measurements down and get them all out. I mean, you can cut all your pieces ahead of time and then get your greetings on there and assemble them. Alright, so just make sure that this piece is up in that corner and everything's oriented in the right direction. On there centered as best I can. And add our greeting, and we're going to leave a gap, and we're just going to line this edge up with this edge and leave about the same distance around. There's one finished card. And we're going to do this one. And I take that back. I am going to stamp a little bit more. I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping on the inside. It's pretty straight. Another one and our final one. You could also do different, it doesn't have to be Christmas. I'm in Christmas mode right now as soon as I can. I love the Christmas season. But you could do this with other DSP that we have that's beautiful, floral DSP, or do some for birthdays. This would make a great birthday card too. Thank you cards. Okay, so there are our cards that using a sketch, and I think they're beautiful just as they are. You could further embellish them. I may Wink Stella is a great way to do that. I'm going to actually, I was thinking about just right here in the center, just adding some Wink Stella, which adds just a little shimmer to the cards. And these cards are flat, so they're easy to mail. Don't have any dimension to them, really. Okay, I've added a little shimmer, and I could go and do that to the rest of the cards as well. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this Handmade Wishes stamp set. It also comes with a punch as a bundle that cuts out these little tabs. And I'm going to use these little holly leaves and the berries to decorate the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and use shaded spruce on this one just to show you how we could decorate, and I'll do the others later. So I'm going to take some of this shaded spruce and just ink this up. I'm just kind of go on the bottom there. Now these leaves do go in different directions, and that's why I'm doing them separately. Now I'm going to grab some cherry cobbler. I'm going to add these little berries. Just a simple little thing on the inside to go with that. Aside for right now. All right, so here are the 4 cards that we made, and also my samples, which are exactly the same. And you could embellish them with some bows. You could put some rhinestones or something on them, but I think I'm going to leave them just they are and just add a little bit of Week of Stella. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this and you make some simple but beautiful cards, and I'll catch you on the next one.